say I'm not so outnumbered on set this evening. We are honoured to have a World Cup winner in our presence, the awe-inspiring US defender, Ali Krieger. Ali, welcome. What a year it's been.
Thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here.
Big year for you, hey?
Huge. Yeah, it was incredible. And I think I'm still on a high from it. So it's even 4 months ago. We're coming off of that and just riding the wave. And it was an incredible experience, something that we've worked for our entire lives. So it's the dream come true.
That's great. We can't wait to hear more about it. Christian, sat next to a World Cup winner. Yeah. There you go.
I'm happy today.
I thought you might be able to tell Ray that.
Where is Ray?
Ray's been gallivanting all over. He's been to New York and then he's off to the Classico. So
he's going to Madrid.
He's going to Madrid.
What a life.
Madrid is not going to know what's hit it, that's for sure. Gary Bailey?
Yeah.
Big week ahead, still more qualifying action coming.
There is. I mean, yeah, you're either in or out. Ireland are in today. It's excitement for them, and so there'll be teams going out. So yeah, looking forward to it. And great to be surrounded by all the superstars, World Cup winners, European Champions League finalists, Colombian superstars. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Great panel tonight. And great news tonight, as Gary mentioned, Juan Pablo, Ireland made it through to Euro 2016. Great for the man that's led them there, Martin O'Neill.
Delighted for him, Kay. I mean, what a fantastic job he has done. And happy that he qualified. I mean, such an extraordinary guy.
Well, let's get into it. Before we do get into all of the action, let's talk to Ali a little bit about everything that's gone on. So I was talking to you before the show, and we were talking about your position as a defender, and I said, well, you're on set tonight with a goalkeeper and 2 forwards. Yeah, right. So a bit of balance here. But a brilliant record as well that you guys nearly got when it came to that World Cup. 540 minutes, was it, without conceding? Yes. Tell us a little bit about that.
That was something extraordinary that I think happened during the World Cup. That doesn't happen every day or those big tournaments like that. So we were really proud of that achievement as a back five, as we call it. But also, it was mainly because of the team defending. It wasn't just us, and it included the entire team. And I think that we just wanted to do our jobs and do it well and do what was expected of us at the time. And I think just provide as much success as we could for the front six to, put the ball in the back of the net and win games.
That's going to please Gary Bailey.
Yeah, and we were talking earlier, and it was amazing how well you ended. I mean, the team was fantastic in the final. But you were saying there was a point where suddenly the team went from, hard yards to suddenly playing really well.
Absolutely. I think that was the China game against China, and obviously we didn't start out the tournament as well as we wanted to and as well as we expected. We kind of ironed out some details and fought through the group of death, as they called it. And I think that reaching the China game we just built confidence off of that. We went out at them 100% and full pressure, and I think that is kind of what changed the entire tournament for us, and we were just confident from that game on.
So what's been the positive outcome since that World Cup win?
Oh gosh, just all the opportunities that we've had, just not only as individuals but as a team. And I think also, just having this amazing platform for us to use to build women's football around the world, not only in our country and for our team, but also for our league, the NWSL, and just leagues around the world, and to get the attention on women's football to help it grow into a positive and healthy direction where it should be.
Yeah, it's going to be great to get your opinion on a lot of what's going on tonight and see how the game differs as well. We're going to be on set with us tomorrow for the US men's game.
I can't wait for that.
Big one ahead, and we'll be talking about that as well. So a full preview leading up to all the live action, followed by the game itself, Trinidad and Tobago against the USA here on beIN Sports. With Julian Gonzalez and Chris Sullivan, well, they've been on the pina coladas all day in the Speedos. We are going to hear from them now. They're ahead of the game. They are in Trinidad, so let's hear a little bit more from them.
Thank you very much. Julian Gonzalez alongside former U.S. national team midfielder Christopher Sullivan. Sully, confidence. That's going to be one of the keys. We saw it during practice yesterday for the U.S. national team, coming off that big win over St. Vincent and the Grenadines 6-1. And talking to Jurgen today, you kind of got that sense that the team is really, really confident going into this match.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the team is confident, obviously, because the associations and chemistry that they're developing on the fly. We're seeing some good things, the movement. Obviously, it was against a different quality opponent, and they can anticipate that Trinidad will impose a high pressing and a very high tempo rhythm out of the gate. So it's so important the first 10-15 minutes that key midfielders, Bradley and Jermaine Jones, control that internal pulse, that lets you know when you want to press, when you want to recover balls in advanced positions, when you want to play out of the back, when you want to bypass the midfield. So look for those two to be kind of the leaders on the field that control that cadence.
And speaking of leaders, when you look at the other side of the pitch, you look at the Soca Warriors, it's just one man that really draws a lot of attention. That's Kenwin Jones, who had a monster game against Guatemala.
Yeah, he's fantastic. The goal he scored against Guatemala at Mateo Flores was impressive. Full volley, diagonal ball that was played in. He's one of the most prolific goal scorers in CONCACAF. If you look at him, he's money. And so it'll be important to cut out the service to Kenwin Jones and try to deny him the space when they're playing at the feet, but most importantly, when he's in the big area.
I think easier said than done now.
That's right.
Well, you know what? If you look at historically here in Port of Spain, the United States and the Soca Warriors the results haven't been more than just any game. They've been very tight. No game has been decided by more than one goal. For Christopher Sullivan, Julian Gonzalez, back to you guys in the locker room.
Where were the Speedos? God, you're getting all excited there.
I was, and I
You lost your train of thought,
lost my
didn't you?
train of thought, thinking of those doing the speedos. Fortunately, they suited up for that one. Okay, let's have a little talk about this. Christine's like, come to me. Ask me about
I don't
Trinidad and Tobago against
understand.
USA.
What fantastic game we're waiting for Trinidad and Tobago against USA. They said the USA team's confident. If they're not confident, they have to change sport. Because you're playing against Trinidad. You're not playing against Mexico or Brazil.
Don't underestimate them.
Okay, but USA team, they're ahead now.
Hey, but this is what they're playing for. This is the group that they're
Okay,
playing out. That they gotta be
but it's
careful
like
what they play.
we're waiting for a game like a semi-final of we're waiting for USA Mexico.
That's the pressure
I
that's
can't
coming
be like
at
that.
the moment,
But
though.
listen, that's the problem. If you win, then nobody cares about it. But if you lose, the pressure is on. So
big-
that's the
it's big.
risk when you're playing those kind of teams.
It's big pressure for Jurgen, isn't it, at the moment? I'm just
it
thinking,
is,
if he loses this, is there a chance he goes?
Ali was saying
I don't
earlier,
know,
too, we were chatting a lot about Jurgen Klinsmann, and there's a lot of negativity surrounding him. But you were telling me some of the positives as well. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
I think he
to fight
tied
for
the
his
record
corner.
for most games won, I think, in the year with 43 with Bob Bradley. Today, I think they announced that, and I think that's very positive going forward, coming out of the maybe darkness the past 3 months. But I also think that, it's a great atmosphere for the Trinidad and Tobago. They're playing at home. They're going to have their fans behind them. And also coming off of the win against Guatemala, I think that it's, we have to give them a little bit of respect.
So you don't think that he might lose his job? Because I'm just thinking there's a big gap now between now and March. If you are going to make a change, not that I want it. I mean, I don't. I
Yeah.
like Jurgen and I
I
like
do
him
too.
to
I
stay.
don't wanna
But
change.
if he lost against Trinidad, as Christian says, not the hardest match in the world, he could be in trouble.
Yeah, he could be. I mean, I could see that being a possibility. But
Isn't it a positive just to have that kind of pressure right now? This is what everybody was expecting in here. He mentioned that when he first got the job. I want the players to be under pressure. So he is right now. It's important for him just to be under pressure. But that's the kid of the game. Everybody expects him to win. Everybody expects him to do well. And when they don't do it or when he doesn't do it, the pressure is on.
Yeah, sure is.
Big change in goals, eh? So they say. Tim Howard coming in. For me, that's a big one. I just think he's a great goalkeeper. And as good as Brad is,
But what's
Tim
made him
is-
decide to change and do that?
I just think maybe a sense you bring in someone that the players really look up to. I mean, Tim was awesome in the World Cup, and you see him at Everton. He's a top class goalkeeper. And I just think he brings a little more gravitas to the situation. And Jurgen needs a result now. And I think I guess he's played Brad because Tim took the year off. And okay, well then I'll put Brad in. But now it's come the time where you've really got to play your absolute best player. And I think Tim's the man.
Ali, you played in Germany, and we were talking about this earlier because there's a lot of talk when it comes to the US men's national team about whether they should be playing abroad, whether they should be playing their football in MLS. How did it benefit you playing in Europe as a player on the national team as well?
I mean, when I first went over when I was 23 in 2007, I wasn't yet on the national team and playing at the highest level, and we didn't have a league at the time, so my options were very limited into getting to the level that I'm at now. So I decided to go over and try out for a team in FSC Frankfurt, and I had like a week-long tryout, and they asked me to sign for 2 years, and I kind of went for it, and it was the best decision I could have made for my career because I kind of had my American style and learned the European style of playing. Now I've kind of meshed the two together, and I think that, for my personal career, it was the best thing that could have, enhanced my game or has enhanced my game.
So I know it's something that you're asked a lot, but I'm going to ask you again. Why is it that the women's team have had so much success in this country, and the men's team, it's not been the same? Is it a fair question?
Yeah, it's a fair question. I don't know if I should answer that. You guys could take over. No, I think that, a lot of young girls grow up playing football and soccer, and in America, and I think it's our number one sport. On the men's side, it's not necessarily the number one sport. Maybe it's third or fourth down on the list. It's obviously growing and more popular now, and a lot of attention is on the MLS, which is amazing. And we, as a national team, and soccer players, we support our men's team tremendously, and I know that they do for us as well. So we're behind them 100% and hoping that they're obviously, and believe in them that they're going to be successful during this World Cup qualifying.
So, but you grilling Ali about Klinsmann. What's your opinion on it?
I hope they keep him because I don't think he's done anything that bad that he should be fired, and you've got to bring in a new coach and everything else. But the bottom line is, if you're in any other country in the world, whether it's Colombia, whether it's Italy or something, and you had to run this bad against teams that you should beat, you'd be long gone. So I think he's had an easy run in that respect. But to change him now, I'm not so sure it's going to make any
I was
difference.
talking about Clint Dempsey just the other day to you, Juan Pablo and Christian, and talking about when coaches do drop a big name player and whether it's a message and what the message is behind it. I also mentioned it with you as well, Ali. And I know that you said as long as the coach speaks to the player, that makes a huge difference. To explain to that player why they're letting you go. So how should he have handled this situation?
I mean, it's hard to tell from the outside. I mean, it depends how he handled the situation. He knows how important he's clean within the team. So I'm pretty sure that he handled the situation well with the leaders of the team. He talked to him and he said, "Listen, I might not need you this time. I'm gonna need someone else. And as long as he's clear with the message, everything will be fine."
Yeah, and I know it was something that you agreed with as well when you said as long as the coach speaks to you.
Exactly. As a veteran player and someone who was, captain of the team as well and has had all that experience, and which we need in the team right now, I think that it's vital to speak to your players and just let them know the reasoning, be honest with them, because at this level and the experience that Clint has, I mean, that's only appropriate.
Just talking of strikers, I want to ask Christian. Altidore scored 2 goals, and I think he's crucial to the USA, especially if Clint's not going to be there. But as a striker, suddenly when you're not playing well and you get 2 goals, I mean, you're a striker. Does that mean we can suddenly start to see him play well?
You start sleeping again.
Start sleeping again.
No, but you let him stay on as
When you
well.
don't score,
Boost his
how many goals
confidence.
did you score this year with Toronto? Not the
Yeah,
and you play, huh?
12, 13, I don't know.
Okay, and you're
Double
playing with
figures,
and
for
you're
sure.
playing with Jovinko. You should have scored a lot more. Because
Yeah, but my thing when I was watching the game, you could tell that Jurgen wanted him to score more goals because there was a point I said, "Listen, just take Josie out, give him a rest because the big game is against Trinidad and Tobago," and he kept him on the game just for him just to build up his confidence and get a few goals more. So I think it's going to be important for him for the confidence point of view. But this is the real test because I mean, St. Vincent, come on.
we
Yeah,
talked
I-
about it. Me and him 2 days ago. Me and you 2 days ago. He should have scored 3. That's a game where you got to score 3-4 goals.
Yeah, but
2 is not enough because you're
it's
playing.
something-
but at the end of the
okay.
day, something.
But if you want to get out of the crisis thing, you got to score 3-4. That's why he left him in there.
But I think I mean at least he scored.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's good
okay.
twice.
Yeah.
It's good.
But you got to
Mexico-
see who you're playing against. too.
Exactly.
One.
Mexico against Honduras also coming off. And one man we'll be looking out for there, Juan Carlos Osorio. Great start for him.
Fantastic, but it was funny just before the game. Everybody was asking me, "Juan, how many goals are we going to score against El Salvador? Yeah, we're going to beat them 7-0. I said, "Listen, we only need 1. We just need to win this game." And when you start a process, especially at this level, the national team, with the pressure that managing Mexico comes from, you need to win, and they did it. And there was a lot of positive things within the game. I think they missed that killer instinct. They could have scored more goals, but it was important just to get off a good start. And then I'm sure the structure for the game against Honduras is going to be, knowing Juan Carlos is going to be completely different, and he's going to select a few new or fresh faces within the game. But I'm excited for what I
It
see.
shouldn't be a problem. I'm just looking at the stats. Honduras have won 1 in the last 11. I mean, look at Mexico
but
and
the
Chicharito and
stats
Peralta.
for Mexico against Honduras away is very, very, very bad.
Serious?
In the last, I don't know if it's 20 years or so, they haven't beaten them away from home.
Should do now. This is the
I mean, at the end of the day,
perfect
it's just the stats. But,
Yeah, it's not an easy place to go, though. It's
Exactly,
going to be
yes.
tough for them. And obviously, you can see that. And the preview here at 3 p.m. Eastern on beIN Sports. But we do have to move on to our next segment. We will be talking about CONMEBOL when we return. We'll be talking about Argentina, who have quite the task ahead and are still winless after 3 games. World Cup qualifying is not about to get any easier for Martino's men. Stay with us.